Hey students, this is the very last set of notes for this unit, so pay attention. Think before you click on the answers to the questions and make sure that you're writing everything down. I do insist that you use highlighters because if you're not using highlighters, you are making this so much more difficult on yourself. So grab your highlighters, grab your calculator. Anything I write down, you're going to write down. This is not difficult, but you do have to pay attention. There's 3 different types of problems that we're going to look at. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play the video. Hey students, notes unit 6 day 4, you need your calculator and you need 3 highlighters. Again, I'm insisting that you use highlighters. It's been a big help if you've been using them. If you haven't been using highlighters, I really hope you're paying extra attention because it makes it harder for you. Now, I want to start this set of notes by telling you, you cannot guess on these problems. You have to have backup to show the answers. So every time I am writing stuff down, you need to be writing it down. Okay, so back in unit 5, we learned 5 ways to show that triangles were congruent. Well, now we're proving that triangles are similar. The 5 ways that we had, side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and hypotenuse leg. You cannot forget those. Those will be on the state test. When we're trying to prove triangles similar, there's only 3 methods. So we're going to use these 2 right here, cross these off, and we're going to include angle, angle. Now, how do I tell side, side, side congruence from side, side, side similarity? You're supposed to put the little similar symbol after it. Now, because there's only 3, and this one is represented by angle, angle. Angle, angle did not work with showing triangles congruent, but it does work when we're showing triangles are similar. Remember, we're showing that they're the same shape, different size. All right, what makes this easier is there's only 3 choices. If you don't have any angles, it's either this or none. If you don't have any sides, it's either this or none. And if you have 2 sides and an angle, then it's probably that or none. So it's real easy to figure out what it's supposed to be. And hopefully when we have these all mixed up, you'll see that. Okay, so the first section is angle, angle. And the theorem says in order to show if 2 triangles are similar, you have to show that two of the angles are congruent. Okay, so you have to have at least 2 angles congruent. So let's write that down. Oh, let's put show. Okay, and so you're like, Ms. Ernsberger, well, what about the third angle? Well, there's a theorem called the third angle theorem that says if 2 angles of a triangle are congruent, the third angle is automatically congruent. So let's start with number 3. Okay, so number 3, when I'm showing that 2 angles are congruent, I usually just highlight them. Like there's 1 pair of angles that are congruent. So what I need to do is to be able to answer the question is I really need to find all 3 angles if possible. That's really the only way that I'm going to tell this. So if I take this right triangle, this angle and this angle should add to 90. So if I go 90 minus 39, it gives me 51. So I'm going to put a 51 right here. And then if you look at my triangles, this one has a 51, this one has a 51. There's 2 angles. I'm done. And then the other angles will be the third one. This one would end up being 39. The third angles are automatically congruent. So I have angle, angle. So what we do is we put yes, they are similar. And the reason is angle, angle, similarity. Okay, look at number 4. All right, let's find this missing angle. If I subtract these 2 from 180, which I do not have to show you, this angle would be 58. If I subtract these 2 angles from 180, I don't have that written down. Let me do that. 180 minus 63 minus 68. This angle is going to be 49. I can already tell this is not going to work out. Okay, so first of all, I have the 68, but I don't have anything else. I only have one pair of angles that are congruent. So this one is a none or a no. You can put yes or no. And it is not similar, a no, not similar, either answer. But you have shown me in the triangles that you can't come up with two angles that are congruent. Okay, look at number 5. Now, for number 5, it's overlapping triangles. We are looking at this triangle, and we are looking at this triangle. Okay, so the 67 is in the pink triangle, and the 67 is in the yellow triangle. So that's one pair. I've got one pair. Okay, if I were to use the triangle here to get this little angle, it would be 22. So is there a 22 in the big triangle? No, it's a 25. I already know that this one is not going to be 91. It actually ends up being 88. So I can't find two angles congruent to two angles, so this is a no. All right, so then you're looking at the other three problems, like Miss Ernsberger. There's no numbers. You're right, but what do we have? Parallel and parallel. So this one, first of all, I have the vertical angles. There's one pair. Whoops, I'm sorry. Y'all should tell me when I'm not in the screen. Okay, there's one pair of angles. So I'll go ahead and highlight those. And then remember, when we have parallel lines, we have our favorite pair of angles, alternate interior corresponding angles. This one is the one where the alternate interior angles show up. If I can draw the Z, and this is just the way that I chose to draw it, this angle is congruent to that angle. That's the alternate interior angle, Z. So I have two pairs. This is yes. I can also draw the Z going the other way, and angle C and angle G would be congruent as well. This is angle, similarity. This one, back from the mid segment, when we had two parallel lines right here, we had corresponding angles showing up. So those two pair of angles are congruent, which means these two are congruent. Now, this is not necessarily a mid segment because it's not connecting the midpoints, but they did tell us that it's parallel, so I know those are corresponding angles. So I have two pairs that are congruent. Angle L is in the little triangle and the big triangle, so I really have three. So this is a yes. Angle, similarity. Okay, and then this one here, I have these angles marked already. I do not have parallel. I cannot draw the Z, but I can highlight the vertical angles. Okay, there's one, there's two, so this is yes. Angle, similarity. So basically, when there's no numbers, you're going to have to rely on the things that we've learned from previous chapters. When there are numbers, you need to find all three angles and compare them. You are looking to show that two angles are congruent in each triangle. All right, next. Side. This is just a bunch of calculator work. Remember what we did on the other notes, okay, where we highlighted little with little, big with big, middle with middle. That's what we're going to do. And we are going to show that all three pairs of sides have the same scale factor. Okay, so lots of highlighting here. What's the smallest number over here? The 9. What's the smallest number over here? The 40. By the way, this is a little hint. If you go ahead and take your highlighters and highlight the whole worksheet, it makes your work go quicker. But I'll do it problem by problem. What's the biggest number over here? The 27. The biggest is the 42. So that's how I'm putting things together. Big with big, little with little, middle with middle. The one that's left over is the middle. Okay. So what we're going to do in this problem is I'm going to make 3 fractions. Yellow over yellow, pink over pink, orange over orange. So yellow over yellow, pink over pink. It doesn't matter what order you go in, as long as if you're going left over right, you put left over right. And then orange over orange. It doesn't matter which color you write down first. And what you're going to do is you're going to put these in your calculator, and you're going to you don't have to use the ABC key. You're just going to divide it out. Those of you, again, that have the graphing calculator, I'm going to show you how wonderful that is. Those of you that have this calculator, you just have to remember your answer. So if I go 9 divided by 14, and just pick the first 2 decimal places, 0.64. Okay, maybe 4 decimal places. If you have something that's really close together, it might be tricky. So let's do 0.6429. 0.6429 is what I'm looking for. Okay, so then I'm going to put this one. Remember, we're not using the ABC key. We're just dividing. Did I get the same thing? Yeah, and look at this. 27 divided by 42. Did I get the same thing? Yes. So if it's a yes, 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 then this is a yes by side, side, side similarity. Now, let me show you, those of you that have a graphing calculator, buying one of these is really worth your effort. 9 divided by 14, because you're going to see all of your answers. And I know a lot of you have these, which is going to be really great. And you can see that all 3 of those answers are exactly the same to give you this. So if you have one of these, you are right. You're right as rain. You're going to be the one everybody's envious of. Now, students, on a test, you do not get credit if I don't see this. You can't guess that it's a yes if you don't have the work to back it up. Okay? Now, as soon as you find one of these or no, you can circle it and say no and be done. Okay, all right, so let's look over here. This is an overlapping triangle, so I want to show you the pieces that go together. We have the little triangle and the big triangle. So where students get in trouble is they forget that the 20 does not go with the 8. The 20 actually goes with the 28. I know that these pieces go together because of how the triangle is situated. So that big segment is going to be 21. And then you have the 40 and 56. Okay. So I have to put yellow over yellow, pink over pink, orange over orange. And if I go big over little, make sure you go big over little on the others. So if I go 28 over 20, big over little, 21 over 15, 56 over 40. I'm going to use my graphing calculator so you can see what I'm doing. And so I'm going to put 28 divided by 20. So we're looking for a 1.4. Now, Ms. Ernsberger, what if I put 20 over 28? Then you would put 15 over 21 and 40 over 56, and you would be looking for a different fraction, but they all better equal 0.7142. Okay, 0.7143. So it doesn't matter whether you go big over little, little over big. It doesn't matter as long as you're staying consistent. Okay, so I've got 28 divided by 20, 21 divided by 15, and 56 divided by 40. It's that easy, folks. Once you do the highlighting and you get everything that goes together, I know that all of these equal 1.4, so that's a yes. Side, 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 similarity. Okay, look at number 9. We're not going to do all of these, by the way. All right, number 9, let's grab your highlighter. Okay, what's the little? The little is 5. What's the little over here? The little's 3. So 5 goes with 3. What's the biggest? 16. What's the biggest? The 10. And then I know that the 12 goes with the 7. Little with little, big with big, middle with middle. I'm going to make my 3 fractions. So I'm going to go pink over pink, orange over orange, yellow over yellow, staying consistent, that I went left over right. If you go right over left, stay consistent. So I'm going to put all of these in the calculator. 12 divided by 7, 16 divided by 10, and what happened? I don't care what this one gives you because these two are different. Now you have to make sure you set them up right, but because these two are different, I would simply cross that one out. Okay, showing me that's where you stopped. I don't care what they're equal to, and put a no. But you at least showed me the 3 fractions, and that's what I need to see, that you set it up correctly. Okay, but when you find one that doesn't work, as soon as you find one that works, cross it off and put no. Okay, number 10. So let's put, let's do little with little. Little is 5 in this triangle, and little over here is the 18. So this is like our reflection. Big is 15. The biggest is 54. And then middle with middle, obviously those go together. So I'm going to put 12 over 43.2, 15 over 54, 5 over 18. We're going to see if that works out. So 12 divided by 43.2, 15 divided by 54. It's good so far. 5 divided by 18. So that's a yes. Okay, and if you have this calculator, remember, you just have to remember your answer. Write down the first one. Oops. Write down the first one and see if they all match. So these all are 0.28. Okay, so that would be yes by side, side, side. Now you do have to put this because the problems are going to be mixed up. So you got to tell me what method you used. That was a side, side, side. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 12. All right, so the 6 goes with the 16. The 8 goes with a 20. I'm sorry, the 8 goes with a 20. Ms. Ernsberger, where'd you get the 20? 8 plus 12, we're not using the 12. And then the 9 goes with the 24. Get used to that picture. You have to do it that way. So let's put, I'll do 20 over 8, big over little, 24 over 9, and then 16 over 6. Okay, let's throw that in our calculator. 20 divided by 8, 2.5. 24 divided by 9, not 2.5. That's where I stopped. I don't care what it's equal to. If you wanted to see what the 16 divided by 6 was, these two match. Those don't. I don't care which one matches and which one doesn't. This tells me that you found a mistake and it didn't match up. So I'm good with that. And this is a no. It's not similar because one of them did not match another one that you found. So if you wrote these down in different orders and you ended up crossing out the third one, I don't care. When I see one crossed out, that tells me you used your calculator and you were checking it. If you want to put what they equal, you can, but you don't have to. All right, lastly, we have side, angle, side, which is a combination of what we've learned so far. So what you have to do is you have to show one angle congruent and you have to show two sides proportional. So in other words, two of the sides have to have the same numbers like we did up here, but you're only going to have two of them, and then you have to show that there's one angle that's congruent. Okay, so let's get number 13. So obviously, this can't be side, side, side because I don't have a side. This can't be angle, angle because I don't have any angles marked. Okay, and I don't have a way to get three angles or two angles. So I'm going to see, is it side, angle, side? It's very easy to figure out what you're trying to find. So first of all, we do have an angle, the vertical angles. Okay, so I've got that. I have to figure out what goes with what. So out of the 12 and the 6 is the little number. Out of the 24 and the 48, the 24 is the little number. That's how I know what goes with what. And those two go together. So I have to put, let's do the 24 over 6, orange over orange. Now be careful. This happens all the time. If you put the 24 over 6, you have to put the 48 over the 12. You have to. I don't even need my calculator for this. I know that both of these, that equals 4 and that equals 4. Okay, they all equal 4. So this is yes. Side, angle, side. You have two sides and an angle that's included between the two sides. That's kind of important. I forgot to tell you that. Make sure the angle is between the two sides. All right, number 14. So again, you're probably going to have a lot of bow tie problems because that shows you the angle. This time I've got this side over here, which has to go with that one. And then the other two have to go together. There's no other sides, but you can still do big with big, little with little. So if I put 40 over 25, and I put 44 over 27.5, show you what those equal. 40 divided by 25, and then 44 divided by 27.5. Okay? This one's tricky. All right, so it looks like a yes because these both equal 1.6. This is where they try to trick you. Is the angle between the two sides? No. So this is actually a no because the angle would have to be here and here for this to be side, angle, side. Very, very tricky. So this is a no. I'm just going to put not. The angle's not between the two sides. And all you need is a no if you figure out that it's a no. Okay. This one, I know you guys, we haven't done a lot with corresponding angles, but these two angles would be congruent. This ends up being a yes. This side goes with this one. No, I'm sorry. I told you wrong. The corresponding angle is here. Whoa, my fault. Not that. And I don't give y'all a lot of problems. It's more of the honors. But in order for it to be side, angle, side, it would have to be there. So this one, when you put 36 over 22 and 54 over 30, 54 over 33, they end up being 1.64, if you'll take my word for that. 1.6. The angle is between the two sides. So that would be yes, side, angle, side. Okay, I think we're going to do one more. So this is your typical problem. It looks like side, angle, side, side, angle, side. We just need to check the sides. I've got the angles, no problem. So 50 is the big number. The big number over here is 35. Make sure you put big with big, little with little. I'm going to put 50 over 35. I'm going to put 45 over 31.5. And I'm going to check one last time. So if I do 50 divided by 35 and 45 divided by 31.5, and we have the same exact numbers, that is side, angle, side, side, angle, side, angle, side. This is yes. Okay, these last two, again, are overlapping triangles, just to remind you. 30, 39, 27, and that would be 34. Okay, this one, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you the answer. The angle that they would share would be the overlapping angle. This angle is in the it's in the big triangle, but this one ends up being a no because 39 over 30 doesn't give you the same answer as 34 over 27. So this one is a no. Okay, this one is let's see, I'll go ahead and show you. 39 divided by 30, and then 34 divided by 27. So they do not give you the same numbers. That's why it is a no. So if that one doesn't match, we're done. And then just once again showing you, this one ends up being a yes. You can look at it if you want to. Those go together. And those go together. So 15, this would be 45. The 14 goes with a 42. So you add these pieces together. Remember, you're supposed to use the entire side of the triangle. They share this angle. And so this one ends up being yes. If you put 45 over 14 or 15, and you put 42 over 14, it gives you 3. 42 divided by 14 is 3, so that does work out as well. Okay, we are not doing the other page, so I know these notes were long. The last, we might do this page at the beginning of class one day after spring break, or fall, or wherever we are in this semester. So you don't have to worry about that right now. All right, thank you, students, and we'll do the worksheet in class the next day that I see you. Thank you. All right, be sure to go mark your notes as done, and you're done with this video, and we're done with the unit. Make sure you have all of the worksheets posted on Google Classroom, and make sure you have all of these videos watched, because I'm getting ready to grade them in the next day or two. Thanks.